edition of Between Two Ellens. I'm Ellen Pogmiller, House District 88.
Ellen Hefner, House District 87. Yesterday we signed-died.
Yay!
So happy. Session's over for a lot of good reasons. But we did a series of asking our colleagues, the Democrats in the House, about what their favorite moment was. We got a lot of them.
So this is part two.
This is part two
of that. And what do you think the biggest one yesterday was, Ellen?
Oh goodness, we did not. Reset did not move on.
And Medicaid question did not.
So those were two state questions that were brought to the people originally, and the legislature was trying to change them. So we are so happy about that.
Yeah.
Enjoy all the great moments of our session.
Thank you.
So, and I'm just kicking it off, right?
Oh,
okay,
yeah. We're stitching them all together.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, my name is Arturo Alonso Sandoval. I'm currently serving as State Representative for House District 89 in South Oklahoma City, so Southside OKC. And I'm still proudly serving as the youngest legislator here in Oklahoma, one of the few members of our Latino caucus. But also someone that, is proudly serving between these two Ellens. So I'm glad I'm here with y'all, honored. I'm a big fan. So really appreciate y'all for inviting me to be part of this podcast.
Well, we're so happy to have you. So tell us maybe one of the stories that happened this year that is very memorable for you, or something you've worked on. So
there's quite a bit of different things that come to mind. But one in particular, so I've made a pretty cool alliance with a friend, Daniel Pay. I dethroned him in being the youngest member of the legislature. He's a good dude from Lawton, but he's someone that carried a bill that I introduced last year dealing with corn masa. Within the Hispanic community, there's higher rates of spina bifida, neurotube defects with kids that are born. So the goal was to ensure that corn masa products, so things like maseca, where we make tortillas, tamales, arepas, is fortified with folic acid to make sure that the expecting mother is able to get those nutrients needed to prevent things like spina bifida. So he was like, that's a pro-life bill. That's a bill that can really help babies and save lives. So he decided to take it on this year, which was a very tough year to pass it or even get that conversation going, because we have a big agenda on make Oklahoma healthy again. A lot of people that they see these things and they might say, oh, well, it causes autism, cancer, all these different side effects, which is not really backed by science. The thing that is backed by science is that fortifying wheat products like corn masa and similar kind of products for people really prevents things like neurotube effects.
And I think one of the things I learned about this bill when they presented it was that we already do this in flour.
Yes.
And so what they were noticing is that our Latino population, there was an increase in spina bifida, whereas in other communities there had been a decrease.
Exactly.
And so
it's like 30 years worth of data and information. So there's a lot of metrics that show just how effective fortifying food with folic acid can be to really save those babies.
It was incredible, the amount of poor misinformation or poor studies, that were dropped off, and conversations I'd had with representatives that were so adamant that this would be bad for Oklahomans. And I don't know if you know, but I used to work at the NICU up at Integris Hospital as family support, and I don't think all those people that voted against it realize what those parents who have a child that do live, but the support that they need, that we don't give enough support or put money towards the budget, towards education or early intervention or family assistance support that needs it when you have a child that has spina bifida. And so it didn't make sense. Right. All of the misinformation and pushing against that, with my experience having a child with a disability, it's not easy. Would I change it? Of course not, But gosh, I was just it was upsetting to see so many people pushing and supporting this false information out there. Yeah. And Daniel Pay did such a good job. Representative Pay,
he fought.
The doctors that he brought up here that were trying to educate.
Yes, and doctors that work on these cases, I mean, they see the families, they interact with the kids, and they try to do their best to really make sure that kid has a good life, but they see that it's a tough situation to be in. And oftentimes they have to be the ones delivering that message to the parents that there's not much they can do to really help their baby. So hopefully, I mean, we'll bring that back next year, see where it goes. But the big goal is to really help those families and those kids out.
Gosh, that's awesome. I hope it comes back.
I hope so too.
One of the other things we were just talking about before we got recording, so I want to get it, is you work with youth on one bill each session.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, so every year I try to make sure that I bring in ideas from students, from kids I meet within my district, and just from the state, throughout the whole state of Oklahoma. And this year, with the good help of a friend, a mentee, Thomas Juarez.
He's from what high school?
From the Mounts. Go Rockets. Yeah,
yes, I'm a Rocket. Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's right in my district, but smart kid. And he was like, you know what, Arturo, what does it look like for us to add our blood type to our driver's licenses? You know, a small change, something that doesn't cost the state any money really, and can help save some lives by, for one, building awareness around blood types. You ask a lot of people and they don't know what their blood type is. And actually, Ellen, I always try to make sure we have a really cool competition between the House and the Senate to see who can donate the most amount of blood.
It's next week?
Yeah, it's next week. Because we had twice during, a blood drive twice during session. And you always think that we're going to be until the end of May, but it'll be next week. So go on.
Yes. Yeah, and the big goal is to make sure more people are talking about blood types, encouraging them to donate, so that we can make sure we just have more blood supply available in case we need it. Right?
Blood types tell a lot about your personality as well, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I actually don't know my blood type, y'all. I know. This will be my goal over the summer.
You're gonna see, this is but it's an issue we hope to address, right?
Yes. No, your bill would have helped me for sure. For sure.
There was a little test, that little thing that I did in science class when I was in high school that we tested our blood to see what the type was. A+.
Someone drew
yours? A positive.
Do you know?
O positive.
Okay, and that's like everybody.
So O negative is the universal one. Yeah. So I was close. Close. Yeah. Which I guess if you have an O negative, then you can't really receive anyone's. You have to receive O negative.
Okay.
But O positive is what I have.
Okay. Yeah. Well, those are great stories. Thank you so much for telling us about it and coming in.
Yeah. Thank you. For sure. No, always a pleasure to be with y'all, and about to finish up session, so we'll see how it goes.
There we go. Wrap it up.
There you go. I'm so excited. Are we a go?
We're a go.
Okay, I'm looking here and I'm saying my name, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Yeah.
I am Melissa Provenzano. I represent a little slice of Tulsa at House District 79 and love it. It's on sort of the east side of Midtownish, kind of. But Woodland Hills Mall, St. Francis Hospital, and all of the things in between. And I was thinking about just now, and I knew if I just laid down, and I thought, oh yeah. So I want to say, a month and a half ago, you hit peaks and valleys on how effective you think you are at this job, and are you like, should I even be doing this? Is this my thing? And I hopped in the car on the weekend. It was a dumb thing to do, but I'm so glad I did, and I headed to Denver. And on the way there, I was stopping at like all the little places, like World's Largest,
Oh yeah.
Well, you're one of those people?
Oh yeah.
I'm like I'm as like fast as I can go to get there.
She stops at
that too.
Yeah.
That too. But saw Wheat Jesus. And so in the World's Largest bingo.
Okay.
And World's Largest Czechoslovakian hand-painted egg, which is really quite amazing. And
how big is it?
It's bigger than this room.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, oh, there it is. You kind of move on down the line. Jesus was the best. But to be honest, I was having a kind of a low point because when you're having served in leadership for a few sessions, people come to you to have you solve their problems, and it can be heavy. But that's the role. And I'm like, am I doing good? Do I even need to run for re-election? Do I need to do this? And my husband called me and he started sending me pictures. And he was at Civicon. which is Andy's thing, and the University of, I want to say Virginia, UVA, was there, and they have a Center for Effective Lawmaking, and it was the longest. They put up a slide, and it said the top 5 streak of most effective lawmakers over the long haul, and I was on the list with 4 Republicans, and I'm like, that's me.
Yes.
So and you were on there for brand new freshmen, and I was so proud of you, and that was incredible, and it was what I needed to know that we are doing the work that matters, that we have the right people rising all around me, and thinking about stepping into the leader role, the hats I'm going to have to take off and the hats I'm going to have to put on.
Melissa is leader-elect, so she will be our minority leader for the Democrats in the House.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I know that we are well positioned to become even leaner and meaner, and then I got happy. I thought, I can do this, you can do this, you can do this.
For now, I always say. When crisis or something happens and you hit that wall, I say, it's for now. That's my mantra, because it won't always be like that.
Right. And you do a systems check, and then you kind of start looking around, and that's kind of when things have a way of showing themselves, and you think, nobody likes me, nobody this, nobody that, and then you're like, oh, no.
And an 80-20 split. Like, that's even the more impressive thing that I think people don't understand. To be an effective legislator within a mixed body where your number count starts at like 19 if we all vote for your bill.
Exactly. And so, it was refreshing. I thought, oh, there's recognition, and in the way that I receive it, which is with data and evidence. And I'm like, oh, there it is.
It's not just it's not a fake. It's not just a trophy.
Right.
It shows that evidence of your work that you've done.
And you and Suzanne were the top 2 freshmen in that year, because they only have data that goes through 23, 24, and they're getting ready to start working on 24, 25 and everything. And I'm just, okay, we do good work.
Yeah,
I do good work, and gotta own it sometimes.
What they put in there is more than just the bills that become into law. Mm-hmm. It's not just about that.
No,
it takes a lot in how many numbers of your, like if you're not in the majority, they weigh. I kind of read up on it. She sent it to me, and so it does take into account all those committee meetings. Like you may have only, sent over 2 to the Senate. But you started out with 8 that moved, that were all moving. You know what I mean? So it adds a lot. It adds all all the committee work that you've done. It's more than just if it becomes
checking a box.
And it takes into effect that you're in the minority and what that split is. And we just can't get up there and say, don't ask me any questions.
No.
It's a good bill. We hear this from
100%.
So.
And then they get real mad sometimes when we ask questions, and I'm like, this is the process.
This is the process
of governance. And so it was a very valuable tool, and I felt like it was something I'm like, okay, we're gonna get our caucus to aspire to target measurements like this. Because we can, and I'm hopeful
and we
for
will.
the future.
And we will.
We will. I'm hopeful. And
we will.
And thinking just, starting in the last half of session, starting to think about when next year happens and who all do we want at the table. Who are the voices that, like, there's loud voices, there's regular voices, and then there's the people that sit back and watch that really have a lot going on as well. And you got to make sure and pick all the brains and find out what all is going on. And I think that's going to be a powerful thing that we get to do this summer.
Well, the Democratic caucus is not there's a lot of subject matter experts, workers. You just can't show up to this caucus. I think that even if maybe people didn't pull as the weight as much, are seeing that's the expectation now. And not that we're telling them to do it. It's like, all good works make everyone else do good. So I think by example, you're leading.
So. I think we are.
So, I love that. Thanks,
Melissa.
Hi, I'm Representative Timmons. I'm representing House District 97. And the most memorable thing about this session has really been watching the day-to-day dedication of my colleagues in the Democratic caucus. It's really lifted me. They are sharp, dedicated, they're smart, they are tireless in their abilities and their heart for the people of Oklahoma. And that is just...
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Well, it's exhausting work.
We are small, but a mighty, mighty group. And I'm just so excited to work with them. Seriously.
You have been such a great addition to our caucus.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I think the perspective that I love so much in your questions and your debate is that from a legal mindset, you always have a frame of where you're going and how things should change within this lane that makes it so clear for people to understand what you're asking and where we should go.
It's good. It's a definite direction or defined way for us as a caucus to look at things as well.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that watching you all debate and being a part of that, what I've noticed is that we come at it from different directions and perspectives, and it's almost organic. Like I come at it from one area, and then someone else will come at it from a different area. Either the humane side of it, or on my side, I'll be the legal kind of framework for it that goes along with some factual stuff. And that together, I think, makes us a strong caucus. It really does. And it gives us a whole lot of power that people don't expect us to have. Because I've watched us debate stuff and change the vote on things. I've watched us debate things and then kill bills. And that's powerful.
You did it.
You did it.
No.
You did.
We were talking
I
about.
can't remember which one was that.
No, well, but
I remember it was the workers' comp one. It was the one where it wasn't workers' comp. It was the one where they wanted to test all employees.
That's right.
And that bill got killed.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I will say Representative Kennedy on the Republican side also helped. That bill got killed. But the highlight really is, for me, working through this session with my colleagues and seeing how well we work together, even if we don't always agree, how it's cordial, we get to the middle of things and we move the caucus forward for what's best for the state of Oklahoma. And that is highly unusual.
And you also got a bill freshman year. So tell our audience just about your bill too. You got it all the way through.
Well, I tell people all the time that when I come into a new environment, I don't know the history of that environment a whole lot in terms of what's expected. So I normally set my expectations really high for what I want to get through. And then I try to plot a way to get there. So I didn't know that it's unusual in your first year to get a bill through. I didn't have that frame of reference because I came in the summertime. And so it was in the middle of a normal 2-year session, not 2-year sessions, but a 2-year term. So I just said, okay, what do I want to do? How do I get there? And then let me learn the informal processes and the formal ones. I read a lot. So I studied up on the legislature, trolled the website, read everything on there I could possibly read before I started running, because I'm about prep. I like to prep. I like to prepare myself. So I knew the formal ways the bill gets across, but it's the informal ones in every organization that you have to guide yourself through in order to have success. And so I'm happy to say that I was able to do that and get it across.
And what does it do?
It gives the judges training on interviewing children in divorce cases, family law cases, and stuff like that, so that we can do a better job of that we can protect the children and then also give families a process they can depend on. And it's a uniform law, so it is one that has been passed in a number of other states also.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that was really good.
Thank you so much
for doing this.
Yes, no, and you were a guest that did such a great job. That was such a good one, and hopefully we'll have you on again.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
I'm Representative Michelle McCane. I cover District 72.
Okay, so tell us something about this year that was a highlight for you.
I would say our first ever library day. So it was the first time in history we had academic libraries, we had public libraries, school libraries come in, bring their programs. We had the bookmobiles, and I miss being in the library a lot. So it was kind of nice to be around library friends and books and be able to kind of like talk shop again. But I heard so many compliments from people that were here visiting, and we've already got big plans for next year, and we got to do a floor presentation. And for me, that's important because being a librarian, I know the value of libraries, and I think that most people think that they know the value of libraries, but they really don't. And I say that because they think that you're kind of a book babysitter a lot of times, and it's so much more than that. So it was really nice to be able to bring people in, and I had a rep that like stopped me and was like, hey, one of the librarians is going to get a book for my grandson for me, and they had done what we call a reader's advisory and went through like what are his interests, what are his grade level, and was putting together a list of potential books. And like that's the value of a professional degreed librarian, is that you get somebody that can offer that type of service. So that was probably
that's exciting.
So I mean, obviously if people haven't been to the Capitol, they don't understand that like each day different groups come in and like try to elevate their issue or their cause or their profession. So how did you kind of organize Library Day?
So I reached out to Natalie Curie with Department of Libraries first, because even though it was my idea, I really wanted to make sure it was about current librarians. Like, yes, I enjoy it, and I was a librarian before this, but I'm not currently in a library right now. And even just a year or two is a long time to be out of the profession, and you kind of get a little rusty. So I wanted to make sure that they were telling their story, and I was just the person kind of pushing behind them. So I got with her, and then I got with Charity and Becky and Michael that were all here for that, and just talked to them about, how do you guys think we should do this? How do you think we should put it out there? And so they really did a lot of the planning. I just kind of chimed in with like the logistics of the Capitol and like what I could do as far as like my schedule or with my assistant. And they kind of planned it all out. Natalie did an incredible job of putting together a packet for attendees. So we just like publicized a sign-up sheet that we sent out to all of the members of the School Library Association, the Oklahoma Library Association. It was posted on social media, and so we just had people from all over the state sign up. And I think next year we're going to actually have to like limit people. This year we combined folks, but some of the feedback we got is that people wanted to be able to bring more, so they wanted their own table rather than a combo. And so I think we're going to maybe have to be a little bit more selective next year on like who we pick, but it'll be the same process. I'll get with those folks to kind of plan out what they think, and then I'll just kind of support on my end.
So you had that in the Supreme Court hallway.
Yes.
You have to book those a year in advance.
Yes.
But Rotunda, man, that really...
Well, that's why we were in the Supreme Court hallway, is we couldn't get the Rotunda.
That's right. So
tried.
I will tell you, because of disability stuff, knowing that you have to reserve, it would be better if you had the Rotunda to have more space, so you might not have to limit, but... You have to book it a year
We're stuck in the Supreme Court hallway again because we tried to request 2 different days.
Oh my gosh. So do you have next year's date already?
We have next year's date, April 21st.
You have to
stay
start
in the Supreme Court hallway again. And so we will try in 2028 to get the whole Rotunda. But I'm going to bring it up to everybody. Like I said, I want this to be the librarians' ideas. But one of the things that I've been thinking about is how we can get more just kind of engagement. And because of the tentativeness of session, like we weren't sure if we'd be here or not or what would be going on, we didn't publish it out as much to the public as I would normally like to. So next year we're going to really advertise it to the public. And then I'll probably be reaching out to you guys, because somebody brought up that doing story times and inviting some of our daycare folks. So you guys have the local connections, so I may need to connect with some daycares, because I'd love to have more schools come for sure, but I know it's hard for them to take out of their instructional day. April's also testing time, but daycares have a little bit more freedom to do those types of field trips, and we could get some legislators to maybe do some story times on the lawn type.
Oh, I love that.
That way we get some information about libraries, but then they can also do something with, kids that are attending and stuff like that. So we'll see what the librarians say. I think that they'll enjoy it, because it's the type of stuff that we love. And we have a school, Muskogee has a bookmobile that they have for their school, which is one of the only ones that I know of in the state. And so I'm really hoping that we can make sure to get them a sub or something for next year so that they can bring that down as well. Because we had the bookmobiles from our public libraries, but I think it's really cool that one of our public schools is also fulfilling that need in their community as well. And now I have like a new side gig aspiration. It's like I'm gonna run the local public school.
Yes.
Well, that definitely is something great that a lot of people don't know about is the work that we do to bring outside interests in, and so thank you for bringing first ever Library Day.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.